Okay. So non-occupying co-borrowers on conventional loans. Okay. The details of this program is it is a Freddie Mac only product. Okay. So you would have to run LP, and you would either need an LP standard accept or a streamline accept. Both would be eligible for this product. And the occupying borrower must have income in this, but there's no percentage of income ratio requirement between the occupying co-borrower or the non-occupying co-borrower. Okay, so we know that FHA allows you to have a non-occupying co-borrower, and not many lenders will allow you to do that on conventional, which this does come into play on quite a few loans. So again, the ratio requirement as far as the income goes does not have to be where the borrower has to qualify on their own, because that would defeat the purpose, or any certain ratio. So, for instance, your borrower could only be contributing $1,000 a month, where your non-occupying co-borrower contributes $10,000 a month, and you would be able to get this done in that manner. Okay. You can also use the non-occupying co-borrower's assets to qualify. Okay. So not only can you use the non-occupying co-borrower's income, but you can also use the non-occupying co-borrower's assets. Okay. Also, the borrowers do not have to be related. So it's not like you have to have, the brother or the mother or the son or the father. There is no, relation requirement there. Scroll down. This is good also on an owner-occupied, a non-owner-occupied, and second home. Okay. It's also good on a purchase, a rate and term, and a cash out. It's also good on a 1 to 4 unit, a condo, and/or a manufactured home. And also the great thing about this is there's no minimum credit score required as long as you have an LP accept, as long as you have an LP approval. So just to recap here, Freddie Mac only. Okay, you have to have an LP approval. You can use the borrower's assets to qualify. There's no ratio requirement as far as income goes. The borrowers don't have to be related, and you can do it on any property type, any transaction type, and any unit type as well, 1 to 4 unit condo or manufactured home. Okay. Anyone have any questions in regards to that as far as scenarios go?
Co-ops, any part of this, Jason?
No, co-ops would not be a part of this. And that's because we don't sell co-ops to Freddie Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
May I ask what the maximum LTV is on the product?
Sure. It would be your standard maximum LTV requirement. So just off the top of my head, if you were doing a owner-occupied condo, right? Owner-occupied, then your max LTV would be 95%. You could do 95%. So whatever your normal conventional LTV requirements are, there's no restriction.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any other questions in regards to that? Okay. As far as some marketing ideas, this product is good for your realtors and purchase business. Maybe if one of the kids are trying to buy a property but they don't qualify right now because of their income, or they can be self-employed and they don't qualify, purchase business is always a good one, so you could hit up your realtors with this idea. Also, your dead pipeline right now, if you had a few files that you declined because of DTI, they were good borrowers, they should have qualified, maybe if you go back to them, and if they weren't looking for an FHA loan, maybe if you go back to that pipeline right now, you might be able to resurrect a couple of new files. CPAs and attorneys are always good for this as well. Mailers, email blasts, radio show or ad or flyers. This is always good to market a product like this. And as always, any kind of social media that you're affiliated with. All right. So again, this is you can do non-occupying conventional loans. Anybody else have any questions? I see a couple of people showed up late that might not have seen me go through it. Anyone have any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
I thought that Freddie Mac requires the borrower to the occupant borrower to show that they have 5% of their own funds invested in the transaction if it's a purchase.
Yes.
Is that
as far as funds to close, that would be accurate. You're correct.
okay?
But as far as income goes, yeah. As far as qualifying for income, there's no ratio for that. Good point.
Yeah, but you can use. You're saying we can use the co-borrower's assets, but on a purchase, that they're going to require that. And I don't know. Maybe it's the same for a refi. Don't they require that 5% of that comes from the from the occupant?
For a purchase, 5% would have to come from the occupying co-borrower. As far as reserves go, yes, for the down payment. But to give you an example, let's just say your borrower is looking to buy another home. They're going to get out of their home that they're in, but now they need 6 months. They need their 5% plus closing costs, plus they need to show 6 months reserves for the one that they're vacating. Right? They don't have it, but they have the 5%. And they have the and the closing costs, but they don't have enough to show 6 months to hold both properties or one property. So that's where now you can use the non-occupying co-borrower's assets to help qualify that.
Okay, thanks.
All right, no, you're welcome. Or even like another person who wants to refi their current residence, or they want to purchase a home and they own a couple of other properties that they have to show 6 months reserves on those properties as well. They just might not have it. So you can add even just for the asset portion of it as well to help qualify. Do you follow me?
Yeah, Jason, on purchases, is there any limitation on seller's concessions with this, up to like 3 or 6%?
It would be the normal 3% for conventional.
Okay. So 3% or 6?
3.
3%, okay.
Yeah. Anyone else have any other questions? All right. So pretty much, just to recap it, using the non-occupying co-borrower to qualify for a conventional loan, you're going to follow every conventional, guideline for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. As far as the question for the 5% of the borrower's own funds, yes, the occupying co-borrower has to have 5% of their own funds. But now what you're doing is you can add a non-occupying co-borrower to a conventional loan to help qualify either on the income side of it or on the asset side of it for the additional, anything over the initial statutory investment of 5%. Okay? It is a great product. It does help qualify loans either before you qualify them or even during the process if you had to add somebody because now, something's come up that you need to, qualify the borrower on. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Like we said, we're going to keep them short and sweet and hopefully kind of, get some more knowledge and get you more, try to get some more loans to close. So anybody else have any other questions?
No, do.
All right. I'm going to take that as a no. Who's ever here in New York or on the Northeast that's in the snow, be safe, and we'll see you guys again next week. I'll send out an email for what we're going to cover next Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.